Good morning, it's time to leave Bergen. We're heading to Oslo, we're getting the 8:08 train and it should arrive in Oslo just after 3 o'clock. Now this is a really spectacular train journey, I've done it a few times and I'm really looking forward to this. So let's get on the train. At this point in the journey, we're at Finse, which is the highest point in the journey, at least it's the highest mainland station in Europe, at 1,222 metres above sea level, and the scenery is stunning. And after an amazing journey, we've arrived in Oslo 1 minute ahead of schedule. You can't ask for better than that. Good morning from Oslo. I just got a quick stop in Oslo on my trip. It's a little bit dull and a little bit wet, unfortunately. Normally Oslo is nice and snowy and crisp this time of year, but no, today it's just a little bit wet. Nevertheless, there's time to head to the Christmas market and to do our glögg test before I head on to my next destination. And it looks like we've found what we're looking for. Well, this doesn't look particularly open. I don't think I'm here at the right time. Now, even if I've not been able to find glögg so far, I have been still doing some walking and talking and learning. And here is an interesting sign. Let's take a look. It says, "Kjøp billetter til alle opplevelsene fra din egen mobiltelefon." So I've been working out what this means. Kjøp billetter, so buy tickets. Til alle opplevelsene. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. Opplevelsene. Oppleve, I think, means to experience. You uplive something. So experiences. So buy tickets to all experiences fra din egen mobiltelefon. So from your own mobile phone. It always helps to have a quick look at some signs and work out what they mean, because it's a great source of language learning. And it's something that you can do without bothering other people or without working up the courage to speak to other people. So, kjøp billetter til alle opplevelsene fra din egen mobiltelefon. The only problem is I can't have any experiences as everything's closed this morning. Unfortunately, we've not been able to complete our mission because the Christmas market here in Oslo isn't yet open today. However, I may have some time later on to come back and we can add Oslo's glögg to our taste test. Now this afternoon I'm heading to Tønsberg, a town I've never visited before, and I'm looking forward to discovering this new place. It's a cold and windy afternoon here in Tønsberg. And it's almost lunchtime, but I am setting myself a challenge. I'm not allowed to have my lunch until I've learned 10 new words from what I see around me. Sometimes it's a bit nerve-wracking to speak to people in the language that you're learning, but that doesn't mean it's not possible still to learn when you're out and about in a country or a place where the language that you're learning is spoken. Because you can look around you, use a dictionary app on your phone and learn new words, and that's exactly what I'm going to do before I have my lunch. So 10 words, let's see how long it takes. So this looks like an advert for a local orchestra. It says "Spil med oss," so play with us. Variert musikk, varied music. Godt fellesskap, fellowship I'm guessing. Does that count as a new word? Ambisjon og moro i samme takt. Ambition and fun in the same something at the same time, perhaps. So fellesskap, I was not far with fellowship. Basically, it means community and togetherness. So that's definitely one new word. And i samme takt is a really nice expression because it means in the same rhythm or in sync. And that's really good for a choir and an orchestra that the sign is advertising. So two words, fellesskap and i samme takt, in the same rhythm, in sync. Okay, let's go and find more. This is just tempting me because I am hungry, jeg er sulten, and I want to eat, but I can't eat until I have found my 10 words. Okay, we're talking about sjømat som smaker i ferskvaredisken. That is a new word, ferskvaredisken. So it's seafood that is tasty, or that tastes i ferskvaredisken. Let's look that up. I should have looked at the photos more closely here because ferskvare is fresh produce and the disken is the counter, so the fresh produce counter, obviously in a market. Ferskvaredisken. Word number 3. Okay, for this one, I know what dampen is. It's the steamboat. Som ble reddet. That looks like it is the steamboat that was something reddet. I thought redd for noe meant to be afraid of something, but maybe reddet means something else. Let's look it up. Å være redd for noe does indeed mean to be scared of something, but reddet means saved. So this is the dampen som ble reddet, the steamship that was saved. So it's a preserved steamship. You could say that this sign's cheating a little because it's got a translation underneath. However, the translation is not a direct translation. It's more a kind of summary of what is being said. Færder nasjonalpark er et sjø- og skjærgårdsområde med et yrende liv både over og under vann. So literally, this is saying Færder National Park is a sea and archipelago area with et yrende liv, with a something life, både over og under vann, both over and under the water. But yrende is a new word for me, so let's look it up. So yrende means bustling, full of activity. And I guess here they're talking about the sea life in the sea and in the archipelago. Yrende. Word number 5. Here's another example of where the English translation is given, but it doesn't actually translate all the words. And there's a word in here that I am not sure of, and that's fortuining. So it says boats longer than 12 meters, but there's an extra word in Norwegian, fortuining, båter over 12 meter. Let's look up fortuining. Fortuining means mooring, or fortøye is to moor your boat. Word number 6. Now, we have 2 words here that I am not 100% sure of. Bading og stuping fra brua forbud. So bathing, and I think diving from the bridge is forbidden. So we'll check that out. Then it says bruk gangfart på brua. So gangfart looks a little bit strange to an English speaker, but we'll look that one up too. So I was right, stooping is diving. So å stupe is to dive. A new word for me, number 7. And gangfart, well, gang has got to do with å gå, which means to walk. Therefore, it's the walking fart speed. So you've got to use walking speed on the bridge rather than running or perhaps cycling or anything like that. So that's words 7 and 8. Stooping og gangfart. Here is another word that I do not know. Tønsberg reperbane. The word bane is like a track, like jernbane is the railway. So I need to look up what reperbane is. This is very interesting, a little bit of history here. So Tønsberg reperbane is basically where I think rope for ships was made. So the reper is an old word for rope, or the rope maker, and the bane is indeed the track or the lane where they make the rope. Very interesting. I'd like to find out a little bit more about that one, I think, but I think it counts as word number 9. Now here in Tønsberg, there's a project to build a replica of a famous Viking ship, the Gokstad ship, and that's actually what's happening right behind me here. And there is an exhibition explaining the process and inviting you to become a volunteer, and that was a new word for me. Let's take a look. So it says bli med på eventyret, so join us for the adventure, and delta, join or take part, som frivillig. Frivillig apparently means volunteer. And that is word number 10. And that means I can go and get my lunch. Now this is a very simple activity. You don't need anything complicated, simply your phone or a notebook. You can take a note of the words. You can even look them up when you get home. You don't need to look them up here on location, as it were. It's also important to say that you don't necessarily need to be in a place where the language that you're learning is spoken. Because if you're looking around you and you see words in your own language, you can try to work out if you know how to say them in the language you're learning. We didn't have much luck earlier when we were trying to complete our gløgg test. So we're back this evening to the Oslo Christmas market. Let's see if we can find some gløgg and put it to the test. But strangely, everything still seems closed. I'm not sure what's going on. And it looks like I'm too late. Gløgghuset is closed. It wasn't to be. This morning I tried to come, but it was closed. This afternoon I wasn't in Oslo, I was elsewhere. And this evening I've come back, but it was closed again. So if you have tried Oslo gløgg, tell me in the comments how it was. It might have been the best gløgg ever, it might have been the worst gløgg ever, but we'll never know. Okay, onwards and upwards. Next stop, Stavanger. Today I was due to head to Stavanger, but unfortunately things have changed a little and I have to head home. But I hope that you have enjoyed this little Norwegian adventure, and I hope that all of the tips and tricks and the techniques that I've been using to practice my Norwegian here have been useful to you in whatever language you're learning. Let's review these now. First of all, take notes. Keep a diary of your trip. Use a notes app or a notebook and jot down simple things. Nothing fancy, just the things that you want to remember. Think about challenges, spot words and signs, try to understand announcements and look for patterns as you move through your day. Notice things about the language, use the world around you as your textbook, try pronouncing what you see and don't wait for learning time, that time is now. Silence is okay. Some practice happens quietly. Listen closely to what you hear and rehearse things in your head. Get used to how the language sounds. Connect. Anchor your learning with the sights, the sounds and the atmosphere around you. The more you remember, the more you learn. I hope this advice is useful to you in your language learning. Norway is a lovely place to visit at any time of the year, but perhaps particularly at this time of the year to get that little bit of julestemning. I hope you managed to get some julestemning out of this video, and if you enjoyed it, please do give it a like and subscribe for more videos like this. For now, I'll say tusen takk, ha det bra, og happy coffee breaking.